Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today I have for you Power Rangers Season 2 Zed's Serpinterra Zord. I didn't even know they made a toy of this thing. I'm just floored. It was really big, so I had to change how I do my camera angles, and I really hope that you can see this. Let me wiggle it around. Maybe the focus on my camera will find it. Will you find it, focus? I hope you do. Anyway, yeah, this is a massive, massive figure. So we'll get into his sizing, and we'll talk about it. Uh, let's see. Get the Lego pad going on over here. Come on. Come on. I think you're taller than my Scorponok, which would be wild. Okay, right there. Hold it in place, hold it in place, hold it in place. And boom, right there. Come on, come on. Aha, got it. Okay, so that's... We'll give it another one because I think I slipped down. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Whoa, 24 studs plus 32 studs makes him a massive 58 studs, 56 studs tall. 56 studs tall. Man, I fail at math sometimes. This guy is a beast. A comparison, we've got the red Dragon Zord right here. We can compare the sizes of him. He is, look at that. The red Dragon Zord is so tiny in comparison. You know, where's my Bumblebee? Where's my Bumblebee friend at? Let's see, Bumblebee, Bumblebee, Bumblebee. You're not a Bumblebee. Get out of here. You're a Bumblebee. Come here. Everything's all scattered around because this is my normal area where the camera sits. Stand back up, you. We'll just set you right there. Yeah, yeah. Siege Sound Blaster and Bumblebee. Bumblebee stands up to this guy's knee. Bumblebee stands up to the knee, and Siege Sound Blaster here stands up to the midway up the hip. Stands up to the hip. This is a wild thing. All right, and one more size comparison. Let's set the Bumblebee over there. Bumblebee actually, I just gonna play around for a second. Rawr, Bumblebee can be eaten by the dragon. That's pretty funny. Okay, all right, set Bumblebee off over here to the side. And Red Dragon Zord, you can come over here. Lay down over here. All right. Be right back. Move this chair. Ah! Okay. Anything gonna fall off you if I move you? Huh? No? Cool. Good grief, you're a heavy guy. You are a heavy, heavy guy. Okay. Up, up, up. And boom. Okay, so Serpinterra is not as tall as Omega Supreme here, but Serpinterra is close to it. Let's get them a side-by-side comparison here. Okay. Are you good? Huh? Are you standing on anything? What's wrong with you? You're standing on something. Oh, you were standing on my controller for the camera. Yeah. Let's not do that. Okay, so Serpinterra here stands up to the... Not even all the way up to this guy. You know, I thought Serpinterra was actually kind of taller, but now that I've got him next to Omega Supreme, I'm like, oh, Serpinterra's actually not that tall. Crap. And Omega Supreme's not even as tall as Scorponok, but we're gonna drop Omega down, get him out of the way. Live under the table, Omega. Live free under the table. Okay. So, let's talk about Serpinterra here and his things. So, articulation-wise, as Power Ranger Zords go, he's actually got the most that I've seen so far. You can move his arms up and down. You can move his shoulder, his elbows. His elbows have single joints that pull a 90, which is pretty nice. You can also open his claws up wide and close them. You can also move them vertically on the wrist, but sadly they do not have wrist swivel. I'm okay with that. These are some pretty nice claws. And thing is, we really haven't had much articulation in other Power Rangers things. This is top-notch articulation. This stuff is cool. I I'm still floored that this even exists. I'm still floored that this even exists. So down here at the knees, the hips, we've got nice hip motion, and he's got knees. They pull a 90 as well, and we can get the knees forward. We have him like walking forward. Oh yeah, this guy is kind of a beast. He's a really cool character. He's got all these floppy bits on top that, because of the way he's been stored, kind of tilted off to the sides and require some heat to fix. But we'll get over here to the top. His jaw moves up and down. He's got head articulation so he can look down at all the little peon Power Rangers below him. Rawr, Serpinterra, rawr! And then you can look up, and when you think about the fact that, what is it? This guy here, the Power Ranger that drives him is 2 Lego studs tall. Good grief. So a human being is 2 Lego studs taller than this guy. It's super tiny, like there. Maybe even 1 Lego stud tall. And then Serpinterra is just dwarfing Red Warrior Zord. Wow. Lord Zed totally had a beast of a machine, and it's sad that it just was not energy efficient. If it had been energy efficient, they would have all been screwed, because he would have used it more often. Instead, it had to charge for a long time before ever activating. Articulation in the midsection, there is none. And toe articulation, there is not really any. Where he's got cool articulation for his hands, he does not have the same articulation for his feet. We spin him around to the back. He does have a tail, and it articulates in 1 and 2 and, let's see, I think that's a third. No, the third's up here. And 3 spots. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Let's see. No, not 4, just 3. It articulates in 3 spots where the tail can swivel, 360 degrees, and because of the way it's constructed, its serpent-like status, this can allow it to actually really help with stabilizing Serpinterra, because if Serpinterra didn't have the tail to lean back on, Serpinterra would definitely fall over all the time. It's just really top-heavy. There wasn't much done to change how the how weight is displaced here. A lot of reliance was put on that tail for weight. So remember that. And remember that it's going to damage the tail section. I don't have this thing posed in this warrior mode of Serpinterra, because it puts too much weight on the tail here, and I can already see with Dragon's years of use and play, that joint is very loose, and so we won't be doing this very long. Now, let's get him over into his other mode. This mode is pretty cool. It's a neat mode, but that's really all it's got. It's not really that great. Though I do like the shoulder pauldrons. I think they're really cool and Shogun-like, and really fit in with the entire theme of Season 2. But, and the plastic for this guy is a unique plastic. It's definitely not an inferior plastic, but it's definitely an older plastic that I don't really, maybe they've changed it or something, but this is definitely a unique plastic that's not the same as some of the other figures that we've come across in the Season 2 Thunderzords line. I think Tor has the same type of plastic, but everybody else seems to have that shinier plastic that has a different feel to the hand. Okay, let's get this guy in his crazy awesome dragon mode. It doesn't really take much to get him into dragon mode. So first off, what you want to do is raise these pauldrons up on either side. His mode change is so simple that I'm just going to merge this to be a Blindformers More Than Meets the Eye double combo. So all you do to change it is force the shoulders down, and then they're going to rotate all the way in on a couple of joints in there. and it's pretty intuitive. You can figure it out pretty easily how it's supposed to go. Then you lower the hands on either side so that the shoulder pauldrons can get in there, and then you raise them. You raise the arms at the shoulder to ensure that the pauldrons can't escape now because they don't really click in. And after that, go ahead and take his thumb from his hand and pull that all the way back on its articulation and raise the head up all the way on its articulation, and then spin this guy forward. Move both of the hips down for the back legs, and now we're going to play around a bit and get this right. So these legs need to get spread, pull them backwards all the way, and then click the knees in the opposite direction. Go ahead and break his kneecaps and push them in the wrong way. He's got those back chicken legs, and then these front legs get pushed forwards all the way on their little joint, and then he can lay down. We're going to get him sideways here. Come on. There you go. There you go. Who's a happy Serpinterra? You're a happy Serpinterra. Look at you waggle your tail. You're such a happy Serpinterra. Yes, you are. Okay. And finally, you want to get the tail spun and then spin the middle tail section at the same time so that what you end up with is a very long, get out of the way things. Good grief, this thing's long. A very long, wiggly, serpent-like dragon that it's like Lord Zed looked at the red dragon Zord and went, oh, look at that serpent style dragon, let me do it better, and did it better. This is a much better Chinese dragon or serpent dragon than what the red dragon Zord ends up becoming. It is super long, super long. Where's Cliff Jumper? He's going to showcase. Get out of the way things so Cliff Jumper can showcase, because I don't know if the people can see that. We're just going to have him drive over here to the front. There he goes. And Serpinterra's claw can rest on top of him and nearly cover the entirety of Cliff Jumper there. Like, he can just stomp Cliff Jumper into the ground. That's pretty funny. We're going to spin him this way so he can look forwards at the audience and open his mouth. He's got the same articulation that he did in robot mode. It's a little different. And he can gladly consume Cliff Jumper. Look at that. Rawr. He's like that giant mecha dragon they would bring to the monster truck shows. Oh, I love that thing. That thing was so cool. They come out and just eat cars and rip them apart and throw them all over the place. That thing was awesome. And this thing reminds me so much of it. But due to its age and the fact that these are pretty loose joints here in his neck, he kind of always bends down and looks like he's sniffing the ground for Power Rangers. And because of the way the head works, the only way to really get a good view of the head is by picking the neck up all the way. Because he can look down, but then that just kind of spins him forwards, and we're just going to have his nose rest there. He is incredibly long because of his tail. We're just going to measure it tail-wise because we already got the measurements on everything else. Tip of the tail to the end, boom, right there. And then that end can go here. Let's see, right? Hey, don't you screw up on me. Okay, and then that one goes there. And then we're just going to bring it over here. So that's 2 full lengths of this Lego pad already. And we're going all the way up to the front here. Raise your head up, man. Be proud. You're Lord Zed's favorite Zord. Be proud. Hey, stop putting your head down while I'm trying to measure you. I'm trying to measure you here, man. Don't screw this up, okay? Good grief. All right. I'm just going to say, because he's not really working with me right there, that it's another full one, and that's 3 full lengths of the Lego pad, which means it's 32 times 3. 32 times 3, of course, equals 96. 96 studs long. This is the longest Power Ranger that I have come across so far in my ongoing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series. And I don't really have much else to say about him. He's kind of a big lug. He's cool, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't really interact with any of the other Power Rangers. It's just kind of a big, giant, power-wasting Zord that consumes all power and depletes Lord Zed's reserves pretty quickly. Anyway, this has been More Than Meets the Eye / Blind Prime, Blindformers, and I've been your host, Blind Prime. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and please tune in next time as we will be discussing something new. But I'll be taking Saturday and Sunday off. Tune in on Monday. Until next time. Bye-bye for now.